In this episode, we're heading to Lijiang to meet the Naxi people living in the stone town, surrounded by huge mountains along the Jinsha River, the upper reaches of the Yangtze River. Naxi people moved to this place more than 10 centuries ago. They built this village on a massive rock with one side facing the river, almost isolated from the world. We want to know why they chose to settle here and how they live here these days. Hi everyone from the river valley. So basically this place is surrounded by those huge mountains, and down below is the Jinsha River, the upper reaches of Yangtze River. And from here we can already have a sight at the stone village, but to reach there to that massive stone we have to cross some houses located on this hillside. Walking into the village on the hillside, I can feel the rustic and natural beauty of this place instantly. With mountains and rivers all around, and the scorching sunlight beating down, you really feel the heat at this river valley. What impressed me a lot were also those traditional-looking houses. They are all stacked together closely and nestled along the hillside. From a higher location of the path, we could even glimpse into some of their courtyards. I don't know if it's because of the heat. The streets are nearly empty and very quiet. I can just rarely bump into someone resting in the shade or villagers walking up from the foot of the mountain. So it looks like the base of this house is made out of all stones, while upper part are some square bricks, probably made out of clay. And this village we're walking through now isn't in that very protruding rock yet. It's more likely an extension where some of the residents from that stone village have relocated here. It's right over there. The stone village here has more than 100 households, and this is a Naxi people's village. Naxi people is the first ethnic group in Lijiang area. So I continued walking towards the river valley and soon arrived at the west gate. The entire stone town has only two gates, one in the west and one in the east. And in every direction, there are sheer cliffs dropping 20 to 30 meters. Baoshan Stone Town was first mentioned in the early Han Dynasty. During the Tang Dynasty, the Naxi people settled here, making it one of the earliest settlements in Lijiang area. By the time of Yuan Dynasty, a complete village began to take shape on this massive rock. And over time, people kept reinforcing and repairing this little town. For example, to defend against the bandits and wars, they added some defensive system such as gates, walls, watchtowers, and cannon platforms on this massive rock, creating the secluded and secure island we see here today. Inside the walls, the streets are narrow, winding, and steep, and the houses are also crafted from natural rock, including stone beds, stoves, and water tanks.
这个水那个是自己摸出来的。
地下水，
泉水呀，泉水呀。我们以前是我小那时候是住这里嘛，住这里那还是这个水那个河嘛，现在是走那边了，
自来水了。
还是自来水呀，有热的吊锅呀。
The grandma showed me how they used to live in this house, such as starting a fire, cooking, storing water, and weaving clothes.
这个梳子，我家爷爷爸爸有那还是愿意自己种那个。现在这就是没有鱼了，也没有猪了。
She said this stone house has a history of 800 years, and her ancestors have all lived in this room, including herself.
以前那个是女人的耳环呀、手镯呀，这里转的。
这个真漂亮，是竹子的吗？
全部竹子编的。现在是烂了，这个是100年的事。这个我们小的时候是织布嘛。
Those objects have all been passed down from generation to generation, and even if they are no longer used, they are still kept in this room.
采一点嘛。
哎，好，谢谢。哦，是白色白醋啊。没有我想象的酸，没有不是很酸。
现在不说那个是过几天是酸的。
哦，
那我不酸的。
就这个就这么喝吗？
哦，这个是做凉拌那个，做凉拌呀，高血压呀，喝一点是喝嘛。
The ancestors of the Naxi people were the ancient Qiang people, who lived in the northwest regions of China and were primarily shepherds. Over 1,300 years ago, a group of these Qiang people migrated south, crossed the Jinsha River, and arrived at Baoshan Stone Town. Initially, they lived in caves on the mountains by herding, hunting, and fishing. Later, they moved out of the caves and began building houses on this massive rock, carving out land on the surrounding mountains, and constructing terraced fields and irrigation systems for farming. They eventually settled down in the area. Over time, Naxi people developed their own pictographic script, which they still use today.
这个是葫芦，装水装酒呢，船外的那个。
我看到过那种。
这个要拿些才能擦下。那现在是硬的嘛，泡了水那个是绵绵的。我想要去年那个15几年的，去年那个是全部都死了，15头死了。
为什么呢？
不知道。
At the highest point of this massive rock is the grandma's house. To the east is the old stone house, and to the west we're going to now is where she currently lives. The view here is fantastic and stunning. You can see the village on the hillside, the river valley, and the cliff.
这也是泉水。
这个水跟那个里边
很干净。
那个。这 个他那个少主那个他嘛的地方，少主那个他嘛。这边那个全部离南的可在。
哇，
城里那个108户嘛，
这边有108户，
这边那个116户。
116，也是从这边迁到那边去的。
是呀。
那您家有亲戚住在那边吗？
我的妹妹你看那边。
啊。
I expressed my interest in seeing those chickens she raised, and Grandma proceeded to cut some vegetables, and then we went together to feed those chickens. They were housed in a separate stone room on top of this rock.
我是在岩石上种菜。
我家是全部都是土人。宝宝这样吗？
谢谢。
卖鱼鸡是几岁的太太？喂猪呀，喂马呀，喂牛呀个。
Since the early 20th century, the village expanded beyond its original walls due to population growth, spreading onto the surrounding hillsides. The grandma mentioned there are 108 households inside the walls and 116 outside. Her sister lives in the village outside the massive rock, and their family names are mainly Mu and He in this village, which are typical family name among the Naxi people.
The slope of those steps make it really hard to walk on, not to mention the uneven stone path. Imagine that, how they just built this place in the first place and carrying all the essentials every day.
From up high at over 4,000 meters to down low at just 1,600 meters, these valleys got quite the altitude range. And when you are moving around, it's like tackling slopes ranging from 55 degrees to 81 degrees. It's not easy to walk on, making transporting goods and construction materials even more difficult. So local villagers mostly rely on horses and mules. They said that building a house here costs twice as much as it would in the plain area of this county.
哦，这个是荷花籽，
嗯，
就撒到那个水里长的那个。
嗯，
这个是荷花。